Alrighty, what's going on? Hop High School back for our morning show, which has really become the Friday afternoon show. We'll kick out the message with this soon. I'm joined by my wonderful assistant principals here who will come on shortly and say what up in their way. We're going to move this pretty quickly today. The theme of today is we want to make sure people are thinking about choosing the right words. And we got a variety of things going on that kind of emphasize that. So we've had a stressful week here at the high school for a variety of reasons. And, it's important to kind of just pick the right word to match the emotion that should fit the situation. And so I'd encourage people to be thinking a little bit about their word selection as they're describing their stresses, their emotions, and how that comes together to think about, where we are. And I'm really grateful to continue to be in a school where people are working as hard as they are, that students are receiving 100% of our instruction, so either in person or from home. That we've been able to offer 4 nationally standardized assessments this year and do that while in school. And just a tremendous go here. We are finishing our 40th day of school and our 9th week of school here at Hop High School. Pretty unbelievable. To take the right words, metaphor to kind of another level here. Next week, we have a full week as well. So it's a day A on Monday, followed by election day, followed by B, C, and D days. And we're not here to talk about politics, but we are here to kind of just make sure that we hit the tone right with thinking about how we communicate with one another. So Tuesday is election day. It is a very emotionally charged political arena that we find ourselves in as a country. And all I'd offer is that as we enter into next week and as we roll through Tuesday and through the rest of next week, it's really important that we're choosing the right words, that we are choosing kind words, that we are centering ourselves and making sure that here at HOPOC that we remain kind to each other as we proceed through next week. And I'm excited to see kind of our community thrive in that way. Finally, really important to wear masks. I'll come back and talk about that in a little bit, but we're going to just jump right into the correspondences. Joe Whitecost, go for it.
Wow, I get to go first today. This is exciting.
Wait, when do you usually go?
Well, it's random. Sometimes I go third, sometimes I go second. This time I get to go first. So
you always go first.
He always goes first.
Always.
Watch the tape. Last one, I think I went third. And I wasn't here last week. I was absent from my sports correspondence.
All right. Well,
see, I notice your background doesn't have the dog today. Do you want me to bring it over, or you're good? No?
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to keep moving. That's fine. I'm ready to go. Before I jump into the Jort report, which is exciting today, 2 things I just want to make sure we keep going and keep reminders about. Today is a very important day for college applications, so just continue to work with your counselors, seniors, about your deadlines and your plans for after high school. We have, in my opinion, the best counseling team
on the planet.
Saying the world to
this side of the Mississippi.
Okay, good. I'll take that. This side of the Mississippi, which is still, it's a big space. And so they'll help you out with whatever they can, but just make sure you're communicating with them and they'll make sure you get everything in before deadlines. And driver's ed, we're starting a new cohort at the end of the month. Our first day of classes for that is November 30th. If you are eligible for driver's ed, so you either have to have your permit or your junior license, please, you could see the application on our high school website under docs. We also sent it out over Parent Square last week. And once you get it completed, you submit that and the payment to Mrs. Sirico in room 200. And just let us know if you have any questions. The classes are all virtual and the driving portion is done by a parent or guardian. So it's a lot different, but if you join this cohort, you'll be done by February and able to schedule your road test and get your full license. So it's exciting that we're able to offer that. Thank you, New York State, for adjusting the rules about driver's ed so that we can get our students driving. So we're happy about that. That's it for school reminders. But now I'm going into my sports report. You guys ready?
We're in. I'm ready.
That's right. All right. So here's what happened in sports. I've been gone for 2 weeks, but you guys did a great job summarizing what happened in sports last week. But since we last had a show, the Los Angeles Dodgers won the World Series, and the Jets and the Giants are still pretty, how do I put this?
0-40.
Awful. Actually, that's the right word. When you use awful, that's the right word.
Awful is the right word, but yeah, they're not far from 0-40. If that were possible, they probably would if they played 20 games each. But the Giants do have a win. The Jets do not. So that leads us into what is on this weekend. I know we talked about this on the show 2 weeks ago after Le'Veon Bell was released by the Jets, but he signed with the Kansas City Chiefs. And guess who the Jets play on Sunday?
The Kansas City Chiefs.
So we're expecting the over-under on total yards for Bell to be about 400 all-purpose yards. He'll probably set some all-time records against this team. It's in Kansas City, where they're actually allowed to have fans in the stands.
Wow.
So it's going to be a total disaster for the Jets versus Kansas City. If you're a Giants fan, they play the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, which should also be a disaster. As those of you on the call might know, Tom Brady is the quarterback of the Buccaneers. They play on Monday Night Football. That should be another thrashing. I guess the only thing that we could debate is who's going to lose by more. And
I'm gonna put money on the Jets. I think the Giants are gonna get smoked, but I think the Jets are gonna get. It's Le'Veon Bell's, all-time game. He's gonna make the Hall of Fame based on a performance.
I would agree with you, but just for the sake of argument, I'm gonna pick the Giants losing by more, just because I want to see who's right. So we'll revisit this next Friday.
And that's fun because I'm a Giants fan, you're a Jets fan, so you've chosen the Giants to lose by more. I've chosen the Jets. We can talk a little trash next week.
Perfect.
How are the Eagles doing so far this year?
That is also not a good story, but they're better off than the Giants. I think they're in first place in the division, actually, but they only have 2 wins. It's really bad.
The
Yeah,
NFC East is terrible.
You're in first place with 2 wins.
Yeah, they might have 3. I have to look. I forget who's the worst team in that. The NFC East is just a dumpster fire, so it's not good.
It is.
All right. Yeah.
What's the trivia? Yeah, what do you
That was
got?
probably inspirational, Joe.
Say that again.
That was really inspirational.
It really is, and it only gets better. But now we're going to this day in history and trivia, so this should be fun. So on this day in history, a couple of important things happen on this day, actually. In 1945, Branch Rickey. Do any of you know who Branch Rickey is?
Baseball player.
Oh, he was actually a general manager / scout, and he was the one who signed Jackie Robinson. So on this date in 1945, he signed Jackie Robinson at the time to the Montreal Royals, who were a minor league baseball team based in Montreal, in case you didn't get that from the team name. And then a year later, ended up in the Dodgers system, and he made his debut a couple years later. But this was the date that Jackie Robinson was signed to the Montreal Royals. And on this date, since we talked about the Jets, I couldn't believe this when I read it. On this date in 1988, the Jets defeated the Steelers for the first time in history. They had never beaten the Pittsburgh Steelers before this date in 1988, which was a long time. So it just adds to the ineptitude of the franchise. But I want to talk about good things, and since the Dodgers won the World Series, well, actually, I have 2 trivia questions today. One was actually submitted by a staff member.
Nice.
This is a quick one, so I'll bring it up. This was submitted by Mrs. Ruffini, who I guess is a Mets fan. Do any of you know who J.D. Davis is? He's about to tell you who he was without letting you answer. He is a player on the Mets. He plays multiple positions, mostly outfield. His name is J.D. Davis. Can any of you guess what his middle name is? J.D. What do you think? Take one guess each.
Davis.
That would be great.
I like it.
Davis Davis.
Dodge.
I don't know. I have no idea.
Dallas.
Dallas is a funny guess. I like it. No, his middle name is actually Gregory. I don't know why he got the name JD, but Mrs. Ruffini, thank you for the question because no one got it.
That's excellent, actually.
Yeah. If any of you have trivia questions for me to submit and stump the team with, just email me and I will include them in a future episode.
I like this little. I like this. Is actually. I like this. Nice
future
work.
commissions. And then my other trivia question was quick. Since the Dodgers won the World Series, you might know the Dodgers were actually the Brooklyn Dodgers up until 1957, I believe, was the year. And it led me to think, well, when was the last time a New York team won a championship? And I just thought, well, let's just combine all four sports. New York as a state has the most championships in the four major sports of anyone else. Do you guys know how many total championships New York-based teams have between the four major sports? And that's World Series, Super Bowl,
20, 27, 1, 4, 4.
27. Who had 27?
Yankees. 1 would be the Jets.
52.
4 would be the Giants. Oh, but Buffalo. They don't.
Joy says 52.
2 for the Knicks. 4
It's
for the
closest without
Islanders.
going over. So Joy, I'm writing this down. Joy said 52.
She might be close. This is really.
Oh,
I really
no.
think I can get this one. 4, 4, 1. The Nets have 0. Well, I guess that's Jersey. The Rangers. How many do the Rangers have?
See,
I'm
if
gonna go
you
with.
like hockey, you would know this answer.
I don't know. I'm gonna go with 42. 42.
Chris says
Christy, what do
42.
you say?
I feel like this is the Price is Right. I'm gonna go with 56.
I'm gonna go with 39,
Oh.
Joe. 39.
Chris is saying 39. Christy's saying 56. Christy, have you ever watched The Price is Right before?
Yeah, but not a long time.
All right. So what does the last person tend to do when they think,
$1, Joe.
yeah, if you bet 1, that would have been The Price is Right. But you
Okay, I
picked
got
a
it.
higher number, which is
The price is wrong.
anyway. Yeah. Well, actually, the winner here is going to be Chris for not going over. The answer that I tallied is 50.
Wow.
The Yankees have 27. The Mets have 2. I counted the Brooklyn Dodgers and the New York Giants, who were both baseball teams before moving to Brooklyn and San Francisco. The Dodgers had 1. The Giants had 5. The Knicks had 2. You were correct on the Nets. They have 0. Although they won a title with when they were on Long Island, if you remember. Oh, we got some announcements in the background. This is Mrs. Winkowski giving the daily reminder that if you don't submit your attendance, you're going to get yelled at by Mrs. Winkowski.
Have a great weekend and happy Halloween.
Oh, there you go.
There you go.
Happy Halloween.
I
The
think we just
Islanders
closed.
and Rangers both have 4. The Jets have 1. The Giants have 4. So that added up to 50.
Excellent.
That was that. So that's the end of my report. I'm going to say back to you, Chris. And usually it's over to Joy, but we'll see today. I don't know.
Over to Joy.
I need to put on my hat to give all my national days today. So today's National Candy Corn Day. Could you believe that they made a holiday dedicated to candy corn, but it was actually invented in the late 1800s? Who would know that this concoction of corn syrup, sugar, water, and marshmallows would turn out to be so popular? I personally like to open a bag of candy corn, toss it in the garbage, and have a Reese's instead. Today is also National Frankenstein Day. Frankenstein also originated in the late 1800s. It was based on a novel by the author with the last name of Shelley. That was from Mary Shelley. And Victor Frankenstein was a mad scientist. And there were lots of movies created based on Frankenstein. So perhaps you want to consider being Frankenstein for Halloween. A great day today is actually National Speak Up for Service Day. And this recognizes all of our young people who are willing to do some type of community service. And seniors, don't forget, we have service activities that we need you involved in. Here's a little PSA. Our Interact Club and Share and Care will be doing a non-perishable food drive from November 2nd to November 15th. In front of our guidance office, we have 2 very creative boxes decorated as very large turkeys. Thank you to Mrs. Rudden. And we encourage all of our high school students and staff to participate in this very necessary and important food drive. And seniors, we will need your help assembling our Thanksgiving baskets. So check in with myself or Mrs. Griffin for more information. And last but not least, today is National Breadstick Day. Whether you enjoy these delicious items hot and doughy out of the oven or crunchy from a bag at your local deli, enjoy breadsticks. And remember, if you eat them standing up, it doesn't count.
Oh, I muted myself. It doesn't count, but
Nice, Chris. Okay, that's it for me for the National Calendar Day. Christy, over to you with traffic and weather.
So I'm putting on my hat. Me and Mrs. Farrar have matching hats. Thank you. So before we talk about the weather, I just wanted to mention yesterday we were able to offer all of our 10th and 11th graders the PSAT. And it went awesome. And I just really want to thank everyone, students, staff, everyone that was involved in making that happen. It was really important that our kids get to practice and they're going to be so ahead on the curve. So thank you for that. So it's been raining a lot. It's been a very rainy, dreary week. In the last day and a half, I think we had 1.5 inches of rain. So right now it's about 45 to 50 degrees outside and the rain's going to taper off. But followed behind that is 30-degree weather. So it's going to be brutally cold. Tomorrow morning, there's actually a freeze warning. So happy Halloween. It will be between 20 and 30 degrees in the morning. So watch out for ice. It's going to get a little bit higher during the day. So maybe wait off to go get your exercise outside till the afternoon. All right. That's it. Have a great weekend. Happy Halloween.
Excellent, guys. And in just a second, we're going to pop off. We're going to pop outside to make sure transition ends well today. And we get students heading home. In a safe, orderly manner. Our routines have really come together. Listen, this week has been a little bit different for us. We've navigated well. I've been just really proud that we've been able to launch and continue moving forward and offer 100% or 100% of our instructional program, 100% of days to 100% of students. And that's really just extraordinary to say in this time that we're in. So despite a rocky week, we were still able to do that. I got quick things. I think senior week is bumped back a little bit. Seniors should be in the know on that. Next week we start gratitude week. Mrs. Farrar, will be reaching out to staff and students a lot about that. Excited about next week, and different people will be pushing that along. Next week we'll be experimenting with lunch operation a little bit. We need to really kind of think through our lunch processes to make sure that we maximize our ability to be in school should we have situations that require us to look at school environments a little bit and decide if there are people that maybe need to be home for a period of time. So we need to think about our lunch routines with that in mind. We have been emphasizing this, and I want to continue to emphasize it. We got to wear hoodies. We got to wear sweatshirts. There's going to be opportunities to go outside. We need people to be warm. That's for everybody involved. Like, people should be coming dressed to deal with weather at school. And then finally, we need people to wear masks all the time as we've been propelling through the weeks, at a pretty quick pace. A huge reason is that people are wearing masks, and we're just asking in partnership with the mask wearing in the school, especially this weekend for Halloween. We need people to be wearing masks outside of school, and it just needs to be something that is a part of where we're at. Rates across the country are astronomical right now, and we want to be a community here from Hauppauge High School, but more broadly in Hauppauge and in the region, that we're not, getting back to where we were just a few months ago when things were really tough. So we all need to contribute to that mindset and that work. Thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful weekend. We will see you next week. Peace out, Hauppauge.